Okay, so you probably saw that title and were thinking, what in the world don't make New Year's goals? What's a New Year's system? Let me tell you. So, your goal is what is the outcome? The system is how will you get to that? And what is the habit you will continue to do even after you get the goal? So, I'm going to read you my goals. One of the goals is I'm going to have 5 books and five short stories published by the end of 2024. Okay, you want to have 5 books published. How will you do that? That's the system. Writing the books. Well, how much are you going to write a day? A minimum of 10 pages per day. Where are you going to publish it? Amazon. So the system is how will you get there? What's the method? Like, we all might say, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds this year. I want to work out more. I want to stop drinking. Okay? You have the goal. What is the system you'll put into place? Because it's not the fact that you don't have the goal to stop drinking that's the reason why you drink. No, it's the system you have. Your system is what are you doing? What is the little thing you do today that's going to build up over time, like 1% today, 2% today, 3% today, and by the end of the year, you're at 365%. Like if I ate 1 cookie per day, 1 cookie a day won't make a difference. But 1 cookie a day for a month, for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, you're going to see a difference off 1 cookie per day. And it's these systems that are the little things that over time are going to build. And when we're making outcome-based goals, let's say you get the goal. Like, let's say you lose 20 pounds. Okay, you lost 20 pounds, you hit the goal. But if you don't have a system in place to maintain that goal, you're going to start gaining back the weight. Like, the system is not in place. And when we have outcome-based goals, like, I want to lose weight. Okay, you lost weight. But internally, like, you don't identify as someone who goes to the gym. You don't identify as somebody who does the thing that got you to lose the weight. You're going to gain it back because you got the goal, so hooray, you won. Now you go back to relaxing. Now you go back to eating the cookies. Now you go back to drinking the sodas. Now you go back to not getting enough water. Because you don't identify as that thing. Like, a person who... Let me give you an example of an identity. You might identify as a mother. Okay, you identify as a mother. So because you identify as a mother, you do mother things. Like, you go to sports games. You take kids to school. You do things based on the fact you are a mother. You identify as that. Now, an identity that might be... that's not based on your situation. For example, I identify as someone who goes to the gym. So, because I identify as that, even if I'm tired, even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to go do it because it's my identity. I identify as that. I don't feel like I am a writer. I don't feel like somebody who makes videos. I don't feel like these things. I am these things. I am someone who writes. I am someone who makes videos. I am someone who works out. And because of that I live a life in accordance with that. So when you're making these goals, you want to think. You don't want to just think on the goal. You want to re-identify as that goal. I'm going to read you another one of them. I'm not going to say the exact number, but I want to have a good amount of money in stocks and savings. Now, okay, I want to have the money. What is the system in place to make that money? Or what's the system in place where by the end of 2024, I will have hit that goal? Then I broke down the system. Like, okay, I'm going to have to make this amount of money over this amount of time, save this percent, And by doing that, I'm going to have reached that goal. How will I make that money? Then I go into ways I can do that. And by having the system, you can build it up over time. Like, we all might want this big, huge goal. Like I said, losing the weight. But what's the system? Like, drinking more water, going to the gym, eating less candy, cutting down on the cookies. Instead of always buying takeout, buy, just the ingredients and cook it yourself because it's healthier that way. Stop buying fast food. It's nothing wrong with a burger once in a blue moon, but if you eating fast food consistently, it builds up in you. Trust me, I used to work at one. So, the whole point I'm getting at is because we're so focused on the goals, we're not looking at the bigger picture of how we're going to get the goal. And boom, another thing. I don't want you to say in 2024 I will. I want you to start now. Like, I want you to start now. Like, one of my goals is by the end of 2024, I want to have read 50 books. 50. How will I do that? Reading 40 pages per day. How will I do that? I will have to find time to do that. Well, Lawrence, you might be walking a lot. You might be on the train, on buses. You might not have enough time to open up the book. Audiobook. You can listen to an audiobook while you walk. So that's part of the system. Finding ways where I can work toward these goals, even if just a little bit. Even if I can only have enough time to read one page or hear through half a chapter while I'm walking. It's progress. And that little progress each day is going to build up over time. Like, if a book was 365 pages and you read one page a day, you'll finish the book by the end of the year. So, when people are saying in 2024 I will, next year I will, in this time I will, in summer I will, you're pushing it off. You're pushing it off. And you know how easier it would be to lose 20 pounds by the end of 2024 if you started your diet today in December 26th. You know how much easier it would be? You would have all that extra time. You would have more time to, like, maybe you want to do your research. Maybe you want to research what's the best foods to eat, how much water to eat. Oh no, how much water to drink. What's the best time of day to eat? How about fasting? Skincare. Maybe you might want to look real deep into it if that's what you want to do. But you have all this extra time to do it. And when you're so focused on in 2024 I will, you're going to be out partying, drinking, eating all the cakes and candies and ice creams and cupcakes and cookies. And by the end of this year, you're going to have gained like 5 pounds. So in 2024, you're not trying to lose 20 pounds. You actually are trying to lose 25 pounds. Whereas, if you start your diet and all that today, by 2024, like the start, January 1st, you might have already lost a pound. Like, you might have already lost 1 pound. So in 2024, you only need to lose 19. And you got 12 months to do it. You could lose 2 pounds per month. All you would need to do is drop 2 pounds a month. And in 2024, you would have lost 24 pounds. So, it's those little steps that actually get us to these big goals. It's these little daily habits that we have. Like, maybe you might have a little habit of reading. Maybe your habit might be cooking. Maybe your habit might be making sure you drink a gallon of water a day. These might be your habits. And over time, after one day, if you do 100 push-ups right here, right now, you might see, a little blood pump up. You might see the chest get a little bigger. But it's not going to be like nothing major. Now, if you did that 100 push-ups every day for a year, you're going to look like you fresh out of prison. Now, me personally, I don't do that. That's just a habit I do not have. But you get the point I'm making. Now, you go to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week. After that first week, you're not going to see a difference. That first month, you might see a little difference. Like, you might be like, oh, my shoulder's looking a little bigger today. This nice. A couple months go by, you're like, oh, my clothes fitting a little tighter. You step on a scale, you take off your shirt, you're like, I'm not fat. I'm gaining weight. Come to find, you gaining muscle weight. So you flex your arms like, oh, look at that. I'm getting big. So after those months, you see something happen. Now, give it a year, 2, 3 years. Oh, you gonna be busting out the shirt. Like now you gotta buy new clothes because you try to put on your old shirt and it ripped because your chest got too big, your shoulder too big. You try, put on them pants that you used to wear when you was a little bigger. They slipping off because you gained weight, you slimming down, but you're not like starving. You actually just building muscle. So the point I'm getting at is you need to look at what's the system, not just the goal, and you also need to stop pushing things off. Like stop waiting until 2024. Time waits for nobody. And the people who started their, working towards the goal in December, like if you started December 1st, you got 30 whole more days than somebody who started January the 1st. Meaning, if we both got the goal to lose 20 pounds, and I started December 1st and you start January 1st, by January 1st, I'm 30 days ahead of you. I've had 30 days where I might have been dieting. I might have been making sure I get enough water. I might have been, hitting the gym. I might have been running on my treadmill. I might have been doing push-ups and squats, pull-ups. I might have been running around the block. I might have been, it's so many things I could have been doing in that 30 days. So when January 1st comes, I might have already lost 5 pounds. So now